What up, what up? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start the show by being transparent. And yesterday, 3-0 sweep for myself. I didn't get to do a show because my internet was out majority of the day. Cox Cable just is not great out here in Las Vegas, but we don't have many options. But I'll take a 3-0 day, every day. Hopefully I could do that the rest of the week. Veno, it's been a little bit since I've talked to you. How's everything been for you? How are you doing?
Well, it's good, buddy. I was on the short end of the Mystics and Atlanta Dream total last night, 156. They got to 155, left us hanging a little bit there, but came back for the split with the Lynx and Las Vegas over, which was really never in doubt. That game had over 100 points at halftime. So split. Lost about, tenth of a unit there, 10 cents. It's been good, though. WNBA, I think at Wagertalk, when I looked this morning, ranked number 3, probably behind you and somebody else. I don't know who, but it's been a good run so far. 60% winners or a little better than that. So we'll take it. We'll look for that. Well, WNBA for regular season.
Okay.
I don't know it doesn't show us who's ahead of us, but it's got to be.
Yeah.
I know I'm 3.
I didn't even check, so I can't tell you honestly which number I am. All I'll say is WNBA has been pretty good lately. It started off cold, but I won I think 20 of my last 26, so try to keep that going. Rob, we got to be hard asses. What color are you wearing today?
I think on the list, Skee, it's just listed as light blue. I think we gave them Carolina blue one time and then decided we're not coming back with that anymore. We're going to make you say sky blue or light blue, I think is the correct answer to this.
All right. So do we have – okay, we don't have both sky blue and light blue listed, right? It's not like two separate colors.
Yeah, I think it's light blue in parentheses, sky blue also acceptable. That's Delroy's got it.
Okay, so Delroy is the winner. He was the first comment anyway. Hit me up on Discord, Delroy, and you will get some free lunch today. $25 to you. So appreciate everybody with the guesses. Delroy was in here bright and early, ready.
In my closet.
The chat. I love when people going at each other in the chat. Even everybody likes to talk a little shit here, and I love it as a shit talking myself. So I don't got to put it all up on the screen, but I see it and I love it. Prolific says Skee Bird stopped showing up in Chris show so early. Yeah, I've been up early lately. My bad. Rob, let me ask you a question here before we talk about today's games. Any quick thoughts? Well, actually, let's just get into it. My bad.
Okay.
No need to beat around. There's so many comments. I'm sorry, you guys. I don't think I can get to all of them, but I do appreciate all you guys. I'm having how do I call it? I'm having allergies right now, so I'm struggling. First game up for WNBA, we'll go Sun and Sky, and this one opened up Sun -7.5. It looks like -7. Total open 153.5. Hasn't really moved. Connecticut, Mariah Jefferson is game time decision. The same people who've been out there for Connecticut will be out there today. In Chicago, looks like the Shields is game time, but she should be out there. And Williams, they'll be without Williams. So the Sky team, they do have the rest advantage. Connecticut has been pretty dominant, though. How are you seeing this one here, Mr. Veno?
Yeah, I like that. Both of those there, Skee. I mean, I did this game earlier for Wagertalk, so the scheduling came into my analysis as well. Chicago's had 4 full days off, and they didn't have to travel, right? They get beat by Atlanta right here on Saturday, 89-80. Not a good outing for the Chicago Sky. Connecticut, it's their 3rd in 5 days, but I'd kind of list that as soft travel, right? The 2 previous to this were both home games. And then they had yesterday as a day off to fly into Chicago. So I don't think that travel is going to hurt the Sun here. I went back to the first time around on May 25th when they met. Connecticut wins 86-82, but they don't cover because they laid 5. Game went way over the total. They got to 168. Chicago in that game, Skee, they had a 50-42 lead. Just to put that into perspective, the 50 that they scored is the most Connecticut's given up in the first half all season long. And in 9 of their 11 games so far, Connecticut's held teams to under 40 in the first half, never mind getting to 50. So that was kind of unusual. And Chicago did it pretty much from beyond the arc. It's a lousy three-point shooting team on the season, right? They're the second worst three-point shooting percentage. They make the least amount of threes per game of any team in the WNBA. But in that game, they shot over 47%, 8 of 17, kind of a mirage. Other than that, Connecticut destroyed Chicago on the boards, plus 17, destroyed them on second chance points, 27-7 plus 20. It's funny because all the things that Chicago kind of does well, Connecticut does so much better. And I think the first time was, now that I think about it, was the game where Alyssa Thomas gave Angel Reese a little what for, her welcoming into the WNBA. Connecticut's tough inside with Bonner and company. They're just tough, and they showed it in that game. I would say this, Chicago's playing with tempo, 3 in the WNBA. Connecticut, as we know, is the slowest team. But they generally control it, Skee. Nobody really runs. Connecticut doesn't get caught up in these high-paced games at all. So I don't think Chicago can do that to them here. And if you just go through ratings numbers, offensive, defensive, and net, Connecticut is so much better than Chicago. It's kind of ridiculous. They're plus 6.5 in offensive, plus 7.4 in defensive, plus 13.9 in net rating. I don't think Chicago can shoot it from 3 the way they did the first time around. I don't think they're going to score 50 in the first half the way they did the first time around. And I saw Chicago's team total listed at 73.5, and I thought it was probably high. I think under 73.5. Connecticut's held 5 of their last 6 opponents to 73 or less. Chicago, real quick here, just from a personnel standpoint, Elizabeth Williams did play in the first game, but Cardoso didn't. Now it's Cardoso, and it won't be Williams. I think Williams might be out for the season with that meniscus injury. So that's a tough loss for them. I don't know if Cardoso's ready for this Connecticut front line. So I think Chicago team total under was a good look, Skee, under 73.5.
Interesting. I do know the Sun like to play slow, and we do have really good defense. I'm looking at those teams you were talking about: the Fever, the Mystics, who have been pretty injured and don't really have that many scores. The Dream, I'll give them that. They did hold the Dream down. In Dallas, I mean, it's just Enrique chucking up shots. You know, I don't know if I think this guy played good enough defense that Connecticut's offense might struggle. They haven't been the best offensive team. So, yeah, Sky team total could go under. I think Connecticut's team total could go under too. And if I feel like that, then I think it's an under game. I was focusing more on Sky in the first half, just thinking that with a little bit of the extra time, they had some chances to fix whatever was going wrong. And they've been pretty good in the first half in general. They are 3-1-1 at home, and compared to the Sun, who are 1-2 on the road. So first half, we're getting 4. It opened 4.5. It's down to 4. I think Sky plus 4 is worth a shot for 20 minutes. What do you think?
And that first half total might be a little bit too high too. I think that Connecticut may remember giving up 50 in the first half the first time around, and probably when they focus defensively, they're really, really good. So maybe first half total under as well. All these unders. And if I like Sky team total under and you like Sun team total under, that should lead you and I both directly to under 153.5 in some way, shape, or form.
Well, I'll tell you this. The Sun are 5-0 to the under off of a loss. And in the first half, they're 4-1 to the under. Sun are 7-2 to the under in the first half off a win. So first half number is 78. Could be a little bit too high there. I think that is a solid way to look at it. Let's see. A couple people from the comments. Bueno likes the under and he likes Connecticut. G. Martinez is not a believer in the Sky's defense. Nathan likes the Sun. So I can understand why people like the Sun. Sky, I feel like they fall apart in the second half. I feel like that's what I've been watching. So if you do like the Sun, I'd probably say take them full game this time around. And if you like the Sky, get in and get out. Total wise, sounds like we're both looking towards some way, shape, or form under. Good stuff on this one, Vino. Let's move over to the NBA. And that is game 3. We have Celtics at Mavs. Opened up Mavs -1. They're a 2.5 point favorite. Total open 212.5. There's a few 213.5, but turning into 214 now. Um, we do know Porzingis. I mean, if you were watching the game, you saw it at the end. He didn't look good at all. Just kind of limping up and down the court, running to the corner. And I forget what his injury specifically was. It was like something that you don't normally see, but it was something torn, and that's never a good sign. So who knows if he'll be out there? I think he's questionable, game time decision. I personally don't think he will be out there, but Celtics, they've shown they're more than capable of winning games without him. Dallas, I mean, series doesn't start till a team, you know, loses at home. Celtics did what they were supposed to do. I feel like now with Porzingis out, Rob, is it time for Dallas to punch back? We know this situationally, teams going down, 0-2 returning home, usually is a spot to play on.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't punch back and they don't punch back early, Skee, it would kind of be, you start thinking maybe it's going to be tough on them. Obviously, the role players haven't done their job, and I hate to pick at the obvious public stuff, but I feel like Kyrie scores over 23.5 points in this game. He's done absolutely nothing here in this series. And, when you play overs, as I often say, what you're looking for is opportunities. You want to have enough minutes on the floor if you're going to play a player prop, and you want to have enough shot opportunities. For Kyrie, and he played 36 minutes and 30 seconds in the first game before getting pulled in a blowout, played over 41 minutes in the second game, and he's taken 18.5 shots per game. Something's got to fall for him in this contest. And I think his quote where he said, they're not going to stop pressing us. They're not going to stop their pace. They're not going to stop testing us on both ends of the floor. We know what we're in for, but now we have to raise it to an even higher level, and it starts with me. You could take that as player speak, or you could take that as Kyrie's mindset in this game is going to be to score. And I think Luka wants him to get going to help him out. So I think I don't play a lot of player props, but I do think Kyrie over 23.5 is probably good here. And one adage that I use all the time in football and basketball handicapping is coaches love to fix what went wrong. And, for Dallas, the offense has gone wrong. Now that's up to guys making shots, because I don't know, Skee, that Luka Doncic can get guys more wide open threes than what these guys get. They're just standing there and clank, clank, clank. Every time these guys put one up, Derek Jones Jr., PJ Washington, Josh Green, it doesn't even look good out of their hands. It's like, no. So Kyrie at 0 for 8 from 3 has to come through here for them. I think Luka gets his. If Porzingis doesn't go, the rim becomes vulnerable again, I think, to Gafford and Lively and those guys. He's been a pretty good defensive presence. I'll say this about Kyrie as well, Skee. I know that, and I won't go through all the numbers, but Dallas has been a better home offensive team than they have been on the road. And Kyrie in particular has been better at home than he has been on the road. And I get that it's Drew Holiday and Derek White in some form guarding him in this particular series. So it's a little bit different when you have those guys on you. But I'll say this. Tyrese Halliburton and Andrew Nembhard were the point guard assignments for those guys in that series against Indiana. And in those games against Indiana, even though it got ended in 4, the point guards, Halliburton before he got hurt and Nembhard, they scored 25, 10. Whoever the point guard was scored 25, 10, 32, and 24. They're all over 23.5. So it's not like you can't score on those two players. They're better defensively. I get it. But Kyrie's had his share of looks. So I think he gets there. I think Dallas probably has to punch early. And I wouldn't be surprised if both teams do better offensively, because it's not like Boston's lit it up on offense. And Jason Tatum had an interesting quote as well. real quick, and then I'll pass it on. He said, quote, "One game I could explode. All the percentages and things like that could change." So it's just the mindset of I'm one game away or whatever that means. I'm in agreement. Jason Tatum could explode at any time, which would help Dallas, who has had explosions from different players every game. I just think both offenses are probably a little bit better than 213.5. So I did play it that way as well.
Well, first, I promise, man. I promise I could shoot better than Derrick Jones Jr. out there. It's been pitiful. But I do think we always say role players play better at home. And I'm expecting they shot back-to-back games less than 30%, more like 25-ish% from three. I think we see a much bigger or a much better performance from everybody. And I agree with Kyrie. I mean, he hasn't played good in Boston since he left there. So now getting back home, I think that's I think that's a advantage or boost for him. And I don't know. I think Luka gets a lot of help tonight. As one thing I don't think I heard you say was I don't know his name. There was a reporter who was doing the media day for the Mavericks. They interviewed him while it was a little break, and he was just saying from being there and hearing everybody, it was a few things that they were focusing on, and one was getting out in transition. So I've heard them say plenty of times throughout the playoffs that they want to play with more pace, etc. This should be one of those times where you don't want to play against this set defense too much. So I'm in agreement. I think they'll get more fast break opportunities. And another thing he said was the other part was they want to get more to the rim instead of settling for so many threes. I mean, I tell you guys this all the time. I watch the games like 3 times each when we get to this part where we have so many days in between the games. And I'm just watching like it was so many times that Derrick Jones Jr. to just point out one person, not that he's the only person. He's just like kind of standing on the three when he could be cutting. He has an open lane. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like they're gonna put more into that. Other things I could see the Mavs doing differently or more of. If they continue, I mean, if Porzingis is not out there, we probably will see this because Joe Mazzulla doesn't want to put a player out there who can't shoot. So we've seen Tatum guarding Gafford, and a couple times in that game, they just gave the ball to Gafford and said, "Hey, go get a bucket. You're too big for him." I think they could do more of doing things like that. And I don't know. I trust Jason Kidd to make, like you said, you want to fix what went wrong. What went wrong with the offense, and Jason Kidd is great at making adjustments. So I think they will make a change, whatever that change is. I expect them to be better offensively. And Boston, without Porzingis or a limited Porzingis, will be worse defensively. So, and if they shorten their rotation, they'll be more tired too. They probably won't have as much energy for defense. Celtics, like they didn't shoot well either. I still could see them shooting a little bit better, but 213.5. I'm not gonna lie, seems pretty low. So I agree with you there. Side wise, I mean, did we get a referee report? Is that man walking down the out the tunnel tonight?
He hasn't had one yet, so it could be because it was Tony Brothers and Zach Zarba. Let me just see real quick.
Yeah, let me.
It's Mark Davis. Mark Davis,
Davis,
James Capers, and Kevin Scott. So pretty neutral crew.
Okay. So I still think, regardless, you can tell me how you feel about it, but I don't think the Mavs were getting a whole lot of calls in that last game. And when they did get the calls, they missed free throws. So that's another thing they can do to score more points too, just make the free throws. But I think they'll get more calls being at the house. Do you feel like they weren't getting calls, or you disagree?
Well, I think, and a couple of write-ups that I did today, Skee. If I just go to the Kyrie write-up that I did, he shot 2 free throws in 2 games. Kyrie's got to get to the rim, be shooting more than 2 free throws. So to your point, I would expect they get a few more. I think Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively looked scared in game 1. Daniel Gafford came alive a little bit in game 2, and his numbers, for what it's worth, let me just pull them out for you here. Daniel Gafford, for those who might want to play a prop. And the only reason why I didn't play him is because they split these minutes between three centers now, Maxi Kleber, Lively, and Gafford. But Gafford's 9 for 12 from the field. So when you were talking about Tatum getting somewhat beaten up by Gafford on a really limited number of shot attempts, 75% from the field, putting up 13 points and 9 boards in 20, just a shade under 23 minutes in game 2 is a big number. Lively hasn't done much yet. We may see more lobs here. Boston's done a job trying to take those away. As far as one thing you said that I forgot to mention, I should have. For Dallas, it's got to be early offense, Skee. Those possessions get stagnant. And I think I may have caught the same reporter that you caught because he was basically pointing out what we knew from watching that game, that Kyrie kind of gets the ball late in the shot clock and go do something with it. And against that set defense, you can't do much late in the shot clock against those guys. So for Dallas, it's got to be quicker into their offense. It seems like every time they go fast, even in half court, if they go early in the shot clock, they get good shots. When they don't, it's just a mess. I agree with you there. If they do get more foul calls, they've shot lousy from the free throw, including Luka, who ran up to the free throw line to take a tech the other night on a illegal defense and proceeded to hit it off the back rim. I mean, he's just not dependable from the line. All that stuff can be straightened out. It's not that hard. So I'm with you. I think it'd be a little higher scoring, and maybe Dallas does get a few more home calls here from these referees, especially if they get a little more aggressive.
All right. How about prop? If we're not going to have Porzingis, or if Porzingis is going to be limited, I feel like it's a lot more rebounds to go around. We've already seen Tatum out there snag. His rebound prop, I think, was 9.5. 10 seems pretty reasonable for him, especially if they play a lineup where, giving Horford some rest and they want to have Tatum maybe as the big man or however they were doing. I just see him grabbing a lot of boards in this game. Would you talk me off that one?
I can't, because he had 12 and 11 in the first two with Porzingis. I mean, that's better than 10 right there. So like you say, more to go around. Yeah, he's done everything well except shoot the ball. And if he starts shooting the ball, we're going to get an over, and he'll probably get his boards. So, I couldn't talk you off that one.
All right, one more question here, Rob. Or another question. Series price. I mean, just looking at, you have the Mavs today minus what? Minus, let's see what the money line is. Minus 145. Mavs, if they win this game, are they a favorite in the next game?
If Porzingis doesn't go, yeah, right. I mean that the line is shot up a little bit because Porzingis isn't likely to go. So I would say yes. If Porzingis doesn't go, now if he does go, maybe pick, maybe.
Okay, well, I'm just thinking. I mean, if the Mavs, the Mavs, I think they can win 2 more games in this series, whether it's tonight's game or the next game and 1 more in Boston. I feel like with Porzingis limited, I think the Mavs can win 2 more, and you're getting plus 110 for plus 2.5 games. And you saying if they win tonight, they'll be a favorite in the next game. What about if they lose? They probably will still be a favorite and then go back to Boston being underdog. I don't know. Plus 110 seems reasonable. How do you feel about that plus 2.5?
Well, I need it because I bet over 5.5 games to start the series. So in some way, I need it. Dallas has to come through with 2. So I'm hoping for that as well. I'm already locked in. I won't double lock in. But to your point, the whole momentum could change with a win tonight and then another Porzingis absence. Like you say, that injury didn't look good in the fourth quarter, the way he was not running. So, maybe we can get the 2 at home here and it becomes a totally different series. Dallas hasn't been horrible on the road. And until those first 2 games of the series where they didn't shoot well. So, yeah, I mean, if you're going to play it now, if you're not invested already and you want to take a shot with plus 110, I could see people doing that.
All right, good stuff, Veno. Last comment before we move it on over. Josh, wrong show for this one here. 84% of the money is on blah, 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 blah. I haven't looked at who the money is on for one pick all playoffs long. I could care less about the public betting or the sharp betting. If you want my honest answer, I would say We the real sharps. So
one day we're going to do an hour show on just that, Skee, what this percentage of money means and who actually is betting it. I mean, honestly, I don't pay attention to it either.
Yeah, people trying to be smart, guys. Casey knows where I'm getting at. All right, we'll move it on over. About that time, we've been on here for 25 minutes to talk about 2 games. I think we did a good job, though. But best bets. So, like we always tell you guys, the link. Got a phone call. Got a call my mom back there. But the link to both of our pages at Wagertalk is in the description to the video. You can just go right there and click either one of us, and we've both been doing well, whether it's WNBA, NBA. Rob, I'll pass it to you, and you can maybe say numbers if you want, but let people know how you're doing and if you like the best.
Well, real quick, it's been a good run since April 1st in the NBA, so that's 7 weeks now. I think we're still number 1 since April 1st at Wagertalk in NBA action, and WNBA, as I said before, 3rd over there at Wagertalk with a bunch of really good handicappers in the WNBA. Skee, a U-capper who's in here quite a bit, so it's going pretty well. Tonight's play is up and available over there at wagertalk.com. Skee, for best bet for the show, I'm just going to go back, and I don't do this often because I pretty much eliminated props from my NBA betting this year, and it wound up being much better without getting caught up in all those props. I know Boofer gave me a little bit of a hard time for eliminating first quarters a few months ago, but it just worked out better. But tonight I have to go there with Kyrie, and I know it's public, and I know it's all that's been talked about, but I just feel like 24 points out of him tonight is not too much to ask at home, especially when I know he's going to get the shot opportunities, especially when I know he's going to get the minutes. So for me, best bet for the show is going to be what I posted first over there at Wagertalk, and that is Kyrie Irving up and over 23.5 points tonight.
All right, good stuff there, Mr. Veno. I think I can agree with that. I agree with Kyrie putting in some work. For my best bet for the show, what do I want to use today? Do I want to go WNBA or NBA? Because I like a few things here today. I'll say this. We'll roll like this. I like the way we talked this out on the show. And we know a few things we know. Connecticut wants to play slow. Connecticut plays really good defense. And even though they're not at home, if they're going to be the better team, I think they can, in a way, control the pace. Sky, they've been, top of the league, top half of the league in defense. I think we'll see less points in that first half. Sky, or I think we'll see less points for the whole game. That's why I'm conflicted. I think full game or first half. Oh, I might even double up. I'll say like this. Sky are 4-1 to the under off a loss in the first half. You have the Sun 7-2 to the first half under off of a win. We'll go first half. Because of those trends. And the number that we get is 78. So first half under 78, Connecticut and Chicago will be my best bet for the show. Rob, it's great to be back with you. And let's see. I mean, I guess I can hit you up and we can see what your schedule's like and we'll get back on here. But always appreciate having you on. You add a lot of value to the show. And for you guys in the chat, we appreciate you all as well. A lot of great handicappers, and we have a good time. So until next time, best of luck if you tell. Good luck, everybody, on all your action. We'll catch you guys later.